My beloved brothers and sisters, in a world where competition is fierce and anxiety about the future consumes the heart, we often forget a fundamental truth. Our rizq, our provision, is not found solely in resumes, interviews, or relentless chasing of jobs. It is a promise from Allah, the most merciful, who knows exactly what we need and when we need it. Allah reminds us in the Quran, and there is no creature on earth but that upon Allah is its provision, and He knows its place of dwelling and place of storage. All is in a clear register. Surah Hud 11:6. This verse is a lifeline, a reassurance that while we plan and strive, the ultimate control rests with the one who created us. Yet so many of us exhaust ourselves chasing opportunities, fearing scarcity, and comparing our journey to others. We send countless applications, attend endless interviews, and stress over every rejection, forgetting that true security is not in human effort alone. This does not mean we stop working or striving, but it does mean we shift the priority, stop chasing jobs as if they are your only lifeline, and start chasing Allah, for your rizq is guaranteed when your heart is aligned with Him. Consider the story of those who woke up every night in tahajjud, pouring their hearts in dua for guidance, sustenance, and ease. They did not obsess over the means, they focused on the source, and often what arrived was beyond their imagination, a job, a connection, or an opportunity that seemed impossible but was perfectly timed by Allah. Turning to Allah with sincere dua transforms the heart. Anxiety is replaced with peace, desperation with hope, and frustration with trust. Your efforts become guided, purposeful, and blessed. Allah promises in the Quran, "Call upon me, I will respond to you." Surah Ghafir 40:60. Every whispered dua, every tear shed in solitude, every heartfelt prayer counts, and Allah responds in ways we may not immediately recognize, but are perfect for our situation. Sometimes provision comes directly, sometimes it arrives through a chain of events, a helping hand or an unforeseen opportunity. These are His signs, reminders that He is in control and that our rizq is already written. Real life shows us countless examples. A graduate worried about unemployment who suddenly finds a job opportunity after months of prayer, a parent seeking support and sustenance for their family who receives help in the form of unexpected income, or someone who trusts Allah despite rejection and disappointment, eventually discovering a path far better than imagined. These are not coincidences, they are Allah's mercy unfolding at the perfect moment. The key is patience, sincerity, and unwavering trust, knowing that no effort combined with reliance on Him is ever wasted. Practically, this means rising in the last third of the night to pray, making dua consistently, focusing on spiritual growth, and pursuing your career with effort, but without anxiety or obsession. Visualize your goals, but surrender the method and timing to Allah. Work hard during the day, maintain professionalism, develop skills and network, but let your heart remain centered on Him. Gratitude for what you already have will multiply blessings, and a sincere heart will be guided to opportunities you could never create alone. Imagine a life where you no longer chase jobs out of fear, where anxiety does not dictate your decisions, and where trust in Allah brings peace to your mind and clarity to your path. Your rizq will come, often from unexpected doors, at the perfect time, and in a way that reflects Allah's infinite wisdom and mercy. All you need to do is stop running after the worldly means, as if they are your only lifeline, and start running toward the source of all provision, the one who never fails, never delays, and never forgets those who call upon Him with sincerity. Rizq, or provision, is one of the most profound concepts in Islam, encompassing not only material wealth, but also health, sustenance, opportunities, relationships, guidance, and peace of heart. It is a reminder that our lives are sustained and guided by Allah, the most merciful, whose knowledge and generosity encompass all things. Many of us fall into the trap of thinking that rizq is earned solely through effort, networking, or education, and while striving is important, it is only a part of the equation. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, provides for every living being, as He says in the Quran, and there is no creature on earth but that upon Allah is its provision, and He knows its place of dwelling and place of storage. All is in a clear register. Surah Hud 11:6. This verse is a source of hope and reassurance, emphasizing that sustenance is guaranteed for those who live with trust in Him, even when circumstances seem bleak or uncertain. Understanding true rizq begins with shifting the perspective from anxiety and obsession over worldly means to awareness of divine orchestration. It is a mindset that recognizes that while human effort is necessary, it is never independent of Allah's will and guidance. The believer learns to differentiate between striving with purpose and chasing in desperation, understanding that worry cannot accelerate the arrival of provision, but reliance on Allah can open doors in ways unseen. True rizq is also holistic, extending beyond financial gain to include blessings of love, guidance, health, contentment, and opportunities for growth. When a person aligns their life with divine principles, seeking knowledge, practicing gratitude, and engaging in ethical effort, they naturally attract rizq in multiple forms. Real-life examples abound of individuals who, despite limited qualifications or resources, found opportunities and support at precisely the right moment because they trusted Allah and acted sincerely. Often rizq arrives through unexpected avenues: a job offered by an acquaintance, a business opportunity that opens through prayer, or a sudden chance to showcase skills. These moments are not coincidences, but signs of divine planning, reminders that Allah is aware of every need and every effort, and that timing is as important as action. Understanding true rizq also means recognizing the importance of patience and contentment, knowing that immediate results are not always the measure of divine favor. Delays, challenges, and obstacles are part of the process, shaping character, increasing resilience, and preparing the heart to receive blessings in the best form and at the perfect time. The believer who internalizes this understanding stops obsessing over every detail, releases fear, and begins to approach life with a sense of balance, striving diligently while leaving ultimate results to Allah. This approach fosters inner peace, reduces anxiety, and allows the heart to focus on acts that truly matter: prayer, dua, ethical effort, service to others, and reflection on divine wisdom. Awareness of true rizq also inspires gratitude, as the believer realizes that everything they have, from health to relationships to opportunities, is a form of provision from Allah. Gratitude amplifies blessings, creating a cycle where trust, effort, and reliance harmonize with divine generosity, leading to greater abundance and fulfillment in all aspects of life. Understanding rizq in this holistic and spiritual sense transforms the way one views work, ambition, and life's challenges, providing clarity that sustenance is never limited to human effort alone, that every obstacle may be a form of guidance, and that the ultimate source of provision is Allah, who never fails, forgets, or delays for those who rely on Him. So many of us live in a constant state of anxiety and restlessness, believing that our survival, success, and happiness depend entirely on securing a job or a position, yet in doing so we often overlook the ultimate source of provision. Chasing jobs with desperation can become a consuming obsession, leading to stress, frustration, and a sense of inadequacy when results do not align with our expectations. We spend hours polishing resumes, attending interviews, networking tirelessly, and comparing our journey to others, believing that effort alone will guarantee success. While striving and effort are important, relying solely on human means without turning to Allah leaves the heart restless, because we attempt to control outcomes that are ultimately in the hands of the most merciful. Many people have experienced rejection after rejection, despite qualifications and effort, only to later realize that what they were pursuing was not in their best interest or was delayed because Allah had a better plan. The Quran teaches us, "And whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him." Surah At-Talaq 65:3. This verse reminds us that reliance on Allah brings peace and fulfillment, whereas obsession over worldly matters alone brings anxiety and emptiness. Chasing jobs without spiritual reliance is like trying to catch water with bare hands. The more we grasp desperately, the more it slips away. It also blinds us to the subtle ways in which rizq can arrive. Opportunities may be presented through unexpected channels, or blessings may come in forms we do not immediately recognize. Many of us have overlooked timely support from friends, guidance from mentors, or sudden openings in business or creative projects, simply because our eyes were fixed solely on a conventional job or a single path. The futility of this chase is also emotional and psychological, as it erodes patience, gratitude, and trust in divine timing, replacing contentment with envy and disappointment. When we chase jobs without incorporating faith, we risk measuring our worth by worldly success, forgetting that Allah is the ultimate provider and that His wisdom encompasses all aspects of our lives. Real-life examples highlight this truth vividly. Graduates who felt lost and hopeless after months of rejection, individuals struggling financially despite relentless effort, and parents worried about supporting their families have all experienced breakthroughs when they shifted focus from obsession with worldly means to sincere reliance on Allah. When hearts turn toward the Creator, when dua and worship take precedence over anxiety and frantic pursuit, provision arrives through unexpected avenues, timing becomes perfect, and blessings manifest in ways the human mind could not predict. Understanding this principle does not mean abandoning effort or ambition, it means integrating spiritual reliance with action, pursuing work with diligence but without desperation, and placing trust in Allah to guide the outcomes. It means recognizing that a job is a means, not an ultimate source, and that the heart will only find peace when it acknowledges that all rizq is controlled by the most merciful. The futility of chasing jobs alone becomes evident when we see that the most content, successful, and spiritually fulfilled individuals are those who combine effort with trust, planning with prayer, and striving with surrender. Their eyes are open to the subtle signs, their hearts are free from anxiety, and their paths are guided in ways that human calculation alone could never achieve. When the heart understands that chasing Allah through worship, dua, and reliance is more powerful than chasing worldly positions alone, the believer learns to move forward with confidence, clarity, and hope, knowing that provision, success, and fulfillment are guaranteed when one aligns their efforts with divine guidance. There is an incomparable power in turning to Allah with a heart that is humble, sincere, and fully aware of its dependence on the most merciful. For dua is not merely the act of speaking words, but the language of the soul, the pure expression of need, hope, and reliance. When a believer lifts their hands and speaks directly to Allah, it becomes a conversation that transcends time, space, and circumstance, connecting the human heart to the ultimate source of provision and guidance. Sincere dua requires intention, humility, and focus, for it is not performed to impress others or out of habit, but to genuinely seek Allah's help and pleasure. The Quran assures us, "Call upon me, I will respond to you." Surah Ghafir, 40-60. This promise is both comforting and motivating, reminding us that no request, no matter how small or large, escapes the attention of Allah, and every plea offered with sincerity carries immense significance. Many people chase jobs, opportunities, or solutions to their problems with relentless effort, yet their hearts remain anxious because they neglect to engage in sincere dua, overlooking the spiritual dimension that can open doors far beyond human planning. Dua transforms the heart, bringing peace to restless minds, hope to despairing souls, and clarity to situations that seem confusing or overwhelming. When performed consistently, especially in the quiet moments of the night, it strengthens faith and fosters a deep awareness that Allah is always near, attentive, and responsive. Real-life experiences demonstrate the profound impact of sincere dua. Individuals who faced months or years of unemployment found opportunities that seemed impossible after committing to heartfelt prayers. Families burdened by financial difficulty received unexpected support. Relationships that were strained experienced healing when supplication and reliance on Allah were coupled with patience and sincerity. The beauty of dua lies not only in receiving what is requested, but also in the transformation it brings to character, teaching patience, humility, gratitude, and resilience. It cultivates a mindset that recognizes delays are not denials, and that obstacles often precede blessings, as Allah's wisdom is beyond human comprehension. Moreover, sincere dua encourages the believer to align effort with reliance on Allah, creating a balance between striving in the worldly realm and trusting in divine intervention. By lifting hands, closing eyes, and speaking from the heart, the believer visualizes needs, while surrendering the method, timing, and form of provision entirely to Allah, allowing the heart to let go of anxiety and embrace certainty in divine mercy. Dua also opens the eyes to subtle signs of provision, opportunities, and guidance that may otherwise go unnoticed, reinforcing the understanding that Allah's response often comes through unexpected channels, perfect timing, or circumstances orchestrated in ways humans could never predict. When dua becomes a regular practice, it nurtures spiritual resilience, emotional stability, and clarity in decision-making, as the believer grows confident that every challenge, every waiting period, and every effort is under Allah's control and aligned with His infinite wisdom. This practice reminds us that chasing Allah through sincere dua is far more powerful than chasing jobs or worldly means alone, because the heart that relies on Him is prepared to recognize blessings, receive sustenance, and experience relief from difficulties in ways that human effort alone could never guarantee. Sincere dua becomes both a lifeline and a compass, guiding the believer through uncertainty, strengthening reliance on divine wisdom, and transforming anxiety into hope, scarcity into abundance, and despair into peace. Life is a continuous flow of events, encounters, and circumstances, yet for many people, these moments appear random or coincidental, leaving them anxious, frustrated, or doubtful when outcomes do not align with expectations. Recognizing Allah's signs and timing transforms this perspective, allowing the believer to see divine orchestration behind every detail, to find guidance in what may seem ordinary, and to trust in the perfect unfolding of events. The Quran reminds us, and it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and it may be that you love a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows, while you know not. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:216. This verse is a profound reminder that our understanding is limited, and what we perceive as delays, rejections, or hardships may be part of a larger perfect plan designed by Allah. Many of us focus solely on immediate outcomes, measuring success by worldly standards, yet the signs of Allah are often subtle: a message from a friend, an opportunity that appears unexpectedly, a shift in circumstances, or even a closed door that prevents harm. Learning to recognize these signs requires mindfulness, reflection, and a heart attuned to divine guidance, qualities that are cultivated through sincere worship, dua, and patience. Those who observe the world with awareness notice that timing is rarely coincidental. Moments of ease and provision often arrive precisely when needed, sometimes in ways that defy human planning or expectation. Real-life examples illustrate this beautifully. A person who seemed stuck in unemployment suddenly receives a job offer through an unexpected connection. Someone facing relational challenges discovers reconciliation through an unforeseen act of kindness, or a financial burden is lifted through assistance that appears in the most unlikely place. These experiences, often attributed to chance by the unmindful, are in fact signs of Allah's attention, reminders of His mercy, and indications that the believer's efforts, prayers, and patience have been acknowledged. Recognizing signs also strengthens trust, because the believer begins to understand that every delay, every setback, and every waiting period serves a purpose, guiding them toward outcomes that are ultimately better than what they had envisioned. It teaches gratitude, as even small blessings and subtle guidance are seen as evidence of divine care, fostering contentment and reducing anxiety about the future. The timing of provision, guidance, and resolution is intricately linked to Allah's wisdom. Nothing arrives too early or too late, and every response to dua occurs at the moment most beneficial for the believer. Awareness of these signs also encourages patience and perseverance, because when one sees that Allah is continuously guiding and providing, the heart does not succumb to despair or impulsive decisions. It nurtures humility, reminding us that human control is limited and that divine wisdom governs all outcomes. Spiritual awareness, combined with active observation of circumstances, allows believers to recognize patterns and guidance, interpreting events not as coincidences, but as intentional responses, instructions, or protections from Allah. Over time, this awareness transforms perception, revealing the hidden hand of divine mercy in everyday life, opening hearts to gratitude, and instilling confidence that sustenance, opportunities, and resolutions are always arriving, even when invisible or delayed. Recognizing Allah's signs and timing aligns the believer with a rhythm of trust and hope, transforming impatience into calm expectation, anxiety into surrender, and uncertainty into reassurance, creating a mindset where chasing Allah through worship, prayer, and reliance becomes far more fruitful than chasing jobs or worldly outcomes alone. Aligning one's efforts with faith requires a deliberate and thoughtful approach that balances sincere striving with complete reliance on Allah, creating a path where worldly action and spiritual devotion work hand in hand. The first step is intention, ensuring that every effort, whether seeking a job, improving skills, or exploring opportunities, is grounded in the desire to please Allah and fulfill responsibilities with honesty, diligence, and ethical behavior. When intention is pure, actions gain spiritual weight, transforming routine tasks into acts of worship that attract divine blessing and guidance. Consistency in effort is also essential, as the believer must maintain a rhythm of action that demonstrates dedication without falling into obsession or despair. This can include setting structured daily goals, preparing for interviews, enhancing knowledge and skills, networking professionally, or seeking mentorship, all while maintaining an awareness that outcomes are ultimately in Allah's hands. Integrating dua into daily routines is a central part of aligning efforts with faith, especially during tahajjud or quiet moments of reflection, when the heart is most receptive to divine guidance. Sincere supplication opens the door for Allah's intervention, often in ways that human planning alone cannot achieve,
and reinforces the understanding that provision, opportunities, and success are orchestrated by the most merciful. Gratitude plays a transformative role, as acknowledging existing blessings strengthens trust in Allah and fosters contentment, making the heart receptive to future rizq, guidance, and support. Part of practical alignment involves patience, recognizing that delays, obstacles, and rejections are not signs of failure but opportunities to develop resilience, refine skills, and strengthen reliance on Allah. By viewing setbacks as part of a larger divine plan, the believer avoids frustration and maintains motivation, understanding that timing is crucial and that provision arrives at the most suitable moment, often in forms that exceed human expectation. Visualization and reflection can enhance this process, helping the believer to clarify goals while surrendering control over the method and timing to Allah, creating a balance between proactive action and spiritual trust. Ethical and moral consistency is also vital, as integrity in work, fairness in dealings, and sincerity in interactions demonstrate reliance on Allah, while ensuring that efforts are rewarded both spiritually and materially. Sharing knowledge, supporting others, and engaging in acts of charity amplify the impact of aligned efforts, as these actions attract blessings, open new doors, and serve as a testament to the believer's sincerity. Moreover, self-care and emotional awareness are practical components, allowing the heart and mind to remain resilient, focused, and receptive to divine guidance, preventing burnout and maintaining spiritual clarity in the pursuit of worldly goals. Real-life examples illustrate that individuals who integrate effort with faith often experience breakthroughs through unexpected opportunities, timely assistance, and outcomes that surpass their initial expectations. They cultivate patience, maintain hope, and notice subtle signs of guidance that others may overlook, demonstrating that trust in Allah and diligent effort are not mutually exclusive, but mutually reinforcing. The practice of aligning efforts with faith transforms the believer's approach to life, making every action purposeful, every challenge an opportunity for growth, and every moment of waiting a chance to strengthen reliance on Allah. It teaches that chasing Allah through worship, dua, and spiritual focus amplifies the effectiveness of worldly efforts, preparing the heart to receive provision, love, guidance, and solutions at the precise moment decreed by the most merciful, fostering confidence, hope, and serenity while navigating the uncertainties of life.